All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. I got something new for you guys today that I am very excited about. We're bringing a podcast or a show or something of that nature to the channel. It's going to be called The Creation of the Creator. Like I said, I'm very excited to bring it to the channel. What we're going to do is we're going to dive into your favorite creators' sort of lives outside of what you guys see on the camera. So we're going to know where they came from, how they got to where they are, what they're doing, where they see themselves, and then what they're doing when you're not seeing what they're doing. So if you guys do enjoy this took a lot of work, a lot of planning. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as well. Let me know in the comments if you enjoy this episode, and I'm thrilled to bring on Austin from Calling Our Shot. He's had an amazing success journey here. Every time you blink, Austin has more followers, more subscribers, and all throughout the growth, he remains a very, very good guy, and he's damn good at what he does. I'm excited for you guys to listen to this. We had a great talk, a great episode. Let's jump into it. All right, we're bringing on a face that I'm sure plenty of you know, but the point of this show is to bring on someone that, you might know, but you might not know. We got Austin from Calling Our Shot. Calling Our Shot, over 145,000 subs on YouTube. Just under 40K on Insta. 200,000 on Twitter. And Austin, where the hell did this come from? 250,000 on TikTok. I blinked and you're at the top of Mount Everest, relatively speaking. What's going on? Let's start with that TikTok thing, by the way, too. Like, that's absolutely crazy. Congratulations on that as of late. But yeah, Calling Our Shot, Austin. A lot of people know you as Calling Our Shot, but I know you as Austin too. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm great. Thanks for welcoming me on here as your inaugural guest. It's great to be here. And to answer your first question, I got no idea what the heck happened. It's been and I feel bad. I've been like neglecting my friends and stuff like that over the last couple weeks. So it's been a whirlwind. January was ridiculous. I don't even know how to put it. It's the craziest month of my life so far. And yeah, I'm just kind of trying to roll with the punches, kind of keep things moving, but trying my best to because I've always been the only negative about growing so fast, like it's awesome, but I've always wanted to be able to respond to every comment and
Yeah.
interact with the whole community, and I can't do that. So that's like the one negative of being going so crazy, just absolutely exploding to the moon, which is awesome. But and there's so many unread DMs and stuff out there that I wish I could respond to. It's just at some point my mental health, I'm like I have to stop. I've been responding for hours, but it's cool to be here, and we'll see what the next couple of years take.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I will say too, every time someone blinks, you're on to the next milestone in a sense. You guys, and I do say you, but obviously Logan has been there at some points too with the MLB shows and whatnot, not as much lately given the seasons, predominantly you, but it's like that Calling Your Shot. If you don't keep up like as a fan or as a viewer or a friend of the program like I am, if you blink, all of a sudden you guys have you know, another who knows how many subscribers and followers. And that's kind of the precipice of what we're going to get into here. Like you just did say 2 seconds ago, jokingly, but probably seriously too, like neglecting friends, neglecting social life. Let's take it back. Forget the followers, forget where you are, even forget Calling Our Shot for a second, right? Austin, where are you from? Where'd you grow up? Where are you now? Let's start with some personal stuff. You don't have to go. You don't have to give out your government official to
I
the
was
people
born on the
watching.
fourth floor of the Atlanta
Yeah.
hospital. No, so I actually grew up outside of Atlanta. That's where I was born in a town called Marietta, probably like 17, 20,000 people. So it's pretty much bigger now, I'm sure. But yeah, I grew up there until I was about, well, I guess I technically grew up a little bit more north. But when I was like 5 to 12, I was there. And then I moved to Orlando, kind of lived there for a while, went to UCF, which is why I got the pennant right over my shoulder. That's where people are always thinking that's the Vegas Golden Knights from hockey.
Yeah.
Like, oh, and then they're asking for hockey picks. I'm like, no, stop. I don't pay attention unless we get to like the playoffs and whatnot. But yeah, as I went to UCF, studied statistics. And I've always had a passion for sports. So I've always like my dream job originally going into college was I really want to be the sports statisticians, the ones that when you take a rebound prop and they yoink the rebound away from your guy, you get pissed at. I want to be
You
one of
wanted to
those
be the
guys.
guy. You wanted to
Although I
be the
wouldn't do that. I
guy.
wouldn't do that. I'd give everyone the rebounds and assists they need, and let's roll on the under. Then we'll maybe maybe he took an extra step. That's not an assist. But yeah, I always wanted to do that, and then naturally, it just kind of woven into. I started doing articles and stuff for Fansided, and then eventually I just wanted to do my own thing, and so I started uploading videos. Originally, we were getting I would get excited for like a 50 view video. I'd be like, heck yeah, we're doing something. And that was probably, I don't know, 2.5 years ago. And now it's blown up. I live in St. Pete, Florida now. So I'm just kind of chilling. I do have a couple trips planned this summer to go to more games. So hopefully I can meet a lot of fans at the actual games. That would be
Yeah.
awesome and bet on them there. But ultimately, that's kind of a long shot or summary of Austin. I study statistics, always been a big nerd about math and stuff like that. That's why my videos are kind of like that. And it's naturally kind of segued into sports betting, but I more so just enjoy having a lot of fun watching the games.
That's awesome. I know we talked about too meeting up. Obviously, I'm from Boston. Red Sox game, Fenway, something like that. We'll
We got you
definitely
this
get that
summer, man.
done.
We're gonna link up and
I'm
do stuff.
I think people will like that too. But you know, you mentioned obviously posting early, 50 view, like we've all been there too, to some degree, some way along the road. What was your first YouTube video? Was it a sports betting, sports gambling, sports picks video? And it does, maybe it doesn't exist anymore. Maybe you're like, let's cut that one. But what was your first video that you uploaded?
I have luckily I have my channel up right now. It was a NBA free agency and draft rumors video. That was I did with my friend. I know I did it with Logan and maybe with another one of my friends, and we talked about rumors. This was Chris Paul to the Suns, James Harden requesting a trade all the way back in November of 2020.
So
Um,
your first video you still have up?
yeah, I got all of them up. Yeah, it
That
only
is
has 107 views.
that
I like to keep figure out where I came from, some kind of thing, so people can definitely watch that.
Oh,
And
I got some old ones on there too that I listen. I'm like, dude, what is that voice? Who are you trying to be right now? Now I know you said it's only been a couple years too, but I have some videos that are like 6 years old, and I'm like, oh boy, we got to pull
But
that. But I don't
prior
want
to
to be
that,
the guy that.
I do have a personal channel that has a
Okay,
couple videos on it, and maybe the personal channel, I won't put it out now, but maybe it becomes a second channel or something like that with my actual name, which I'm sure people could find it. It has a couple videos up. Not most recently has a Survivor audition. Always loved Survivor the show, so I've always wanted to be on the show. Now my life's kind of
okay,
crazy. I kind of have to do daily uploads, so they'll have to record during like MLB season when MLB is the only sport, and then I could probably swing it. But
yeah.
and then the first video I think I ever uploaded, I loved playing Modern Warfare 3. So uploaded to YouTube probably a Modern Warfare 3 clip of me, doing my thing on some people. But
That's
that's probably it.
Isn't that interesting? That is such a connection to YouTube. And then even like we're both doing, sports related and predominantly like, gambling and betting, but like I remember my first like thought of wanting to upload video to YouTube was truly like a gaming video, whether I was watching like or watching someone else play 2K or something like that. That was like the that's cool to me. I want to try and do it. It's kind of crazy to think about. Like I never actually went down that route or threw my hand into the mix, but it is kind of interesting to see that. And I wonder how many people. You're not the first person that I've heard say that either. So it's like it's interesting that that sort of gaming into YouTube gets people being like, YouTube's pretty cool. Like YouTube's cool. This is something that I want to do. You can make money doing this. Pretty interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been a person that watched a ton of YouTube. Like my
Mhm.
fiance's always watching Netflix and things like that. And I've been getting into more watching those types of shows. Maybe we talk about that at the end, what shows I'm watching these days. But yeah, I've always been a YouTube guy. Always someone that like went and I watched a lot. I watched several creators, almost all their videos. And I think the first person I really connected to a lot was like Chris Move. He always did his NBA 2K videos. Like this was like 8, 10 years ago. And that's kind of and
Splash.
so
Oh
that's been in
yeah.
some of my videos that I've been like, oh, I want to throw that in there. And so I think I saw those people having fun making videos and obviously making money because it was their full time thing, and I played a lot of Call of Duty at that moment. So I was like, oh, I'll just upload these and see what happens. But yeah, I think a lot of people, I think there's split audiences. I think a lot of people watch a lot of YouTube. Some people watch
Mhm.
Netflix. Some people watch a combination. I've been always skewed heavily towards YouTube. I don't know why. Maybe it's just the nature of the videos that are just different than you get on like Netflix, which are
Yeah,
more
I
like
think you get more of like I think you get more of like a personal connection. Like you Chris Move, right? Like he would have his created players and my player career modes. I would
yeah.
like be invested in those little storylines and stuff that he would put in between. And then I'd go to play myself and I'd like try and make it up. I'm like, this isn't as cool as when he makes it. So I think that that's what YouTube obviously. I feel like the cat's out of the bag at this point, but people get that sort of personal thing. Like YouTube ramps up when people start vlogging, which is just a person and a camera. And I guess on that note, that just sparks in my head. That wasn't a question I wanted to ask you originally, but any potential for vlogs in the future. Not necessarily calling our shot. You mentioned the personal channel, like, and that could turn into that type of thing. But like, do you see you peeling back the curtain and saying, "Hey, like this is my life"? Because everyone sees. I know you moved in the last year or so, right? But everyone sees you in the camera and your background. And I think you've had some videos like when you hit I remember way back you did free throws for a certain amount of subscribers, right? Like that I remember I obviously have been aware and we've been aware of each other for a while now, but do you ever see yourself getting or I guess yeah, put it on like a scale. How far do you think you go in terms of this is business, 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 but hey, here's Austin's life.
Yeah, I mean, I've been incredibly fortunate to be able to do this full time since October of 2021, so about a year and a couple months. And so I've always, been building up this one channel, but I think at the end of the day, I do want to show people more about myself. Like I'm more than just, hey, Bam Adebayo said this over in 6 of his last 8 games, so stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, and that's one of my plays today. Maybe he treats me nicely. But I've always wanted, like, I enjoy going to games, but my current, job schedule and doing all this stuff makes it a little bit difficult. But I think in the coming, it could, and that's why I kind of want to go on like a. I think Logan and I are planning on doing like some sort of world tour during MLB season when we can go to when there's no NBA, so I don't have to worry about a daily video there. And then we'll
Mhm.
still have baseball daily videos, but those are a little more laid back than my normal NBA ones. And yeah, we want to go to a bunch of games, videotape our time there, and maybe try out some cool foods from each unique stadium and just stuff like that. I think would be awesome. And I really want to. I think in the coming months we'll probably have a second channel, and that will be more like personal stuff. Me going to a Sixers game, which is going to happen in a couple weeks. More on that in a little bit, and then yeah, I kind of want to do like a PO box opening. Like people send me stuff to a PO box, and so there's a lot of cool ideas I have. I want to branch off more than just calling our shot. Maybe do
Mhm.
different things that kind of because at the end of the day, doing daily videos, it's fun. I enjoy doing them all, but it can be pretty taxing when I don't
It's
really have.
it's a
I don't
it's a
really have, and
grind.
you don't really have any days off.
No.
I look forward to the All Star break, which is coming up in 2 weeks to the day. Thursday only has 3 games on that day. I look forward to the All Star break more than anything, and so just because that's like the one like 4 to 5 to 6 day stretch where
Yeah.
there's no sports on. You could do all star betting, but I won't do it. And
Yeah.
so yeah, I look forward to that. But I think there's
Yeah.
different content I do want to bring out soon.
It is, and I think some people you can tell by the good comments, some people get it, but some people just they see you there every day, and we've both lived that, and no hard feelings to any of them because that is what's on the surface, right? But you're there every single day. The minute you're not there, it's like you did something wrong, and I know I've felt it. I'm sure you felt it too. You miss a day because you have legitimate plans, or the Wi-Fi, the power's out. You have this overwhelming guilt, right, of not
Mhm.
getting your video out. And that's because we both love doing it, right? Like it is a grind, but neither one of us would be where we are, especially not you, if you weren't willing to go through the grind. But I think with the great success you have comes even more of that expectation. And I think people start to lose the guy behind the camera or in front of the camera is the person, right? And again, like I'll reference it multiple times on this episode, future episodes. That's kind of the point of this show. Like I haven't seen many interviews, if any, of you or truly like getting to know the person behind it. But all of a sudden, you become this. Same for me, right? Like no knock on anyone judging us like that, but you become a talking head, and the minute you don't show up, it's like, oh, all the years of work you put in don't matter anymore. Like you missed that Sunday, January 3rd. Like it is a grind. And I can't thank people that watch me every day. Certainly, what people that watch you every day. I can't thank those people enough that understand and just appreciate the grind. I love seeing that. Those are probably my favorite comments when you have a bad day. Like I have plenty of bad days, more bad days than you do. And someone's like, "Hey man, like I just appreciate you waking up and getting this video out." And I'm like, "All right, let's hit the reset button. Now we're back. That's the juice I needed. But I
Yeah,
guess
those people are very uplifting. Yeah, I mean it is a grind to do it, but yeah, like you just said, I mean, I enjoy doing. I wouldn't do it if I didn't enjoy doing it. And I
yeah,
think there's so many people that are entering the space, and I get a lot of questions in my comments and Twitter DMs and all social media accounts and whatnot. They're just kind of asking, I'm new, kind of how do I become how do I gain a following? And I've been
yeah,
fortunate to gain such a incredible following and have so many different opportunities come up to me that would never have happened, 2 years ago. But my number one tip is to be consistent. Like I don't
Yeah.
really, it matters, if you're entertaining, you give out good picks. Obviously, that helps. It's going to help you if you give out good picks. But at the end of the day, you got to be consistent and you got to be there. Even if it's a bad day, you go 0-5 the day before, you got to be there. You got to show up. Even if some people aren't as transparent as others, as long as you show up and you at least are accountable and that you're there. And I think that's important. People know, my video schedule is more or less the same. You'll know you have a
Yep.
call and account video by 9 a.m. every single day, maybe a little bit after that, but very rarely do I miss days. I try, and it hurts. It hurts to miss days. I try very hard not to. It's definitely my fiance has gotten used to me waking up at 5 a.m. and be like,
Yep.
oh, we'll see you later. And so I try not to miss days ever. I think I've maybe missed one or two this year, this NBA season, just because I was deathly ill. And one of them I was like, I can't muscle this out, and I even tried. But even
Yep.
I think something funny though that happens to me occasionally is after I do all the grinding for the videos. Some days I'll take a nap after I upload and whatnot, and I'll wake up and I'll see it's super bright out. I'm like, damn it, I missed the video, and I think I'm like super behind, and I get upset. I'm like, oh no.
Really?
I'm trying to rush to my computer, and then I'm like, oh, I already uploaded today. It's happened more times than I'd like to admit, but that shows the dedication I am to getting out these videos
It
every month.
does. You'll go through an entire upload process, and someone's like, "Oh, two calling our shop videos today." That is funny. You said something there that kind of piqued my interest. You said, consistency. I totally agree. Right, consistency would be number one if you want to build the following and everything like that. But then you kind of got into, you said, good picks, be entertaining. And my mind, like, immediately kind of went to, I guess, this scale of, okay, where do you consider yourself? Because obviously you give out great picks and whatnot, but where you want to be or where you want to consider yourself at right now, from, I guess, the side of good picks to entertaining, where do you think, or where would you like to fall in that? Because there's a lot of pressure to always give out winners. Now you're good at it, you've proven that, you can trust yourself at doing that. But when I think of, like, there's plenty of ridiculously boring people on YouTube that come on and, have a good hit rate, and that's what they do, but no one's tuning in for that person, right? They're tuning in to just skip through the video, get the picks, and dip out. And then you have, I guess, a good example would be like Barstool, right? They do gambling, they do sports, never consider themselves good at it. In fact, when they lose, it probably drives more views, more engagement, but they're wildly entertaining. Where do you consider yourself? And I'm not talking about the success of your picks. I'm saying where you'd like to lie in people's minds, I guess, or fall in people's minds. Lie is probably not a good word there, but of being entertaining but giving out good picks. Like, where do you fall on the scale? Because to me, I know I win more than I lose, but I have no hit rate like you have or anything like that. I just know at the end of an NBA season, I can be profitable, right? But I want to come on and have a good time, laugh at myself when I lose, make people like I thrive on comments being like, this guy stinks, and I'm like, okay, then make your own video. And you know what I mean? Like, so where do you fall on that good picks versus entertainment scale?
Yeah, I mean, that would want to be a cliche and just say you kind of got to be 50-50. I think I'd probably lean towards my picks being more like 60% entertaining, 40%. Like,
Mhm.
obviously, there is some aspect, and some people have the entertaining bone. I don't think that's not a term people use, but some people are more entertaining than
It is
others. There's
now.
people that, there's like comedians and stuff like that. Like, you'd watch them, and regardless of what they're kind of talking about.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like, I think people doing what we're doing, I think if you're just entertaining, you can get only so far. Whereas if you're giving out good picks, good knowledge, very informational. So to kind of segue from there, I kind of just try to bundle all those three together. Give out
Mhm.
good picks, but also be very informational and entertaining and quick. I don't want to be wasting and talking loops and loops and loops around people. I want to be very concise and you know I want to be easy to learn from and just kind of different things like that. I'm kind of word jumbling right now, but I
No,
think
you're making sense. It almost is like, and tell me if I'm wrong, but it's like your picks are the foundation, but you got to present those in a nice packaging with a bow too.
yeah,
Like
100%.
the gift itself is the picks. I'm not saying you're giving a gift to your viewers that they're the picks, but if you were to think of this present or package, the picks are what's inside that package, in your thought process here, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then
and
so
it's
yeah,
like and I like to be informational too, because even if someone doesn't tail my pick, but maybe I'm like I don't know, the Clippers have given up the second most points per game to centers in the last 25 games, and maybe they don't take whoever the center is against them that night, but then they
Yep.
see another center's coming up the next night. They're like, oh yeah, Austin said that, I'm going to take that center, and they don't necessarily have to watch my pick for the video, or I might not even be taking that center or something like that. But I think being able to give out people tidbits like that and make their researching purposes and lives a little bit easier, while also having a pretty good success rate on your own picks. I think that's kind of the perfect like combination of all the different things.
Yeah, and I think that like you bring up a good point that gets through to people too because I get plenty of DMs of like, hey, like that's awesome. Where did you find the defense versus position? And then I'm like, oh, this website, like it's way easier than you think. And then like, holy crap, that's like, in our minds, that's such a everyday thing because we've done it for a long time, right? But I guess I can't even think back to when I first found that sort of that process or that like um website or something that I was like eye opening, like, oh, this is like one layer deeper of the onion than I was going. And I still obviously I think we're always both going to be searching for that too, like making this even more of like a plug and play sort of. I know exactly the checklists I need to go through. It's never going to work out perfectly like that, but it is like obviously you, me, plenty of other guys in the space probably have plenty of overlap and stuff that we're looking at and reasons what we're looking at or things that we look at and we say nope, forget that pick, like that one thing. But I like the sort of aiding someone else when they're like, hey, where did you get that website, or what was that website of the graphic you showed in your YouTube video, your TikTok? And I'm like, oh, this website, like free information. I think there's a lot of people out there, and especially in this space for a long time, that would be afraid to show someone that, or no, this is like mine, this is my process, I don't want to show you this.
Yeah.
And those are the same sort of people I think that and I don't think it's an age thing but just happens to be on YouTube, like the older crowd giving pics of that mentality of like, I'm the best, sign up for my like whatever, I'm not going to tell you anything about it, but here is Lakers -2. And it's like I like to I like to say more about the game than I try to be concise. I just ramble way too often. But like I try and talk about the game and give people whether or not it's and obviously our video formats are different, but talk about the game in the sense of like whether you want to listen to me or not, here are facts, there's feelings, there's gut reactions, and I'm transparent about it all. And you're very similar too. It's like no one's forcing someone to take a pick, but that sort of knowledge you're giving them, it's like, hey, if you feel more comfortable now with this pick or something else down the road, like mission accomplished when you got up at 5 a.m. and uploaded 3 videos because you kept falling asleep. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like that's like a goal. But I think you bring up a good point that, it's like you do have to have the substance and like the content that is valuable to people from, I guess, a numbers or just a pick perspective, because there's far more people that are good at picking than there is the bar stools of the world. Like that's a more of an anomaly. Like you can be wildly entertaining, makes fun of yourself for losing, but at the end of the day, like that's almost like trying to make it in crazy showbiz or something. Like that's like a shooting star moment, whereas if you put the work in and give people the value, I think that is for anyone that wants to get into the space or any sort of related space, like that would be sort of my advice. And it sounds like you to line too. Like take
Yeah.
the value and provide value in a YouTube video. Let your personality show, but provide a little bit of value.
Yeah, I really couldn't have summarized it better myself. So good work on your side. But the only other thing I would add is that one other thing I've tried, especially over the past year or so, is try to make everyone feel included. And that doesn't mean responding to comments and
Mhm.
interacting that way. But there are, I mean, at the end of the day, a lot of people that are going to watch the videos bet on a lot of sports. They know what they're doing. But there's also going to be a lot of novices out there that really are just getting into sports betting. This might be their first video, whatever, first, time betting. They might be in a new state like Massachusetts that just got, legalized gambling, and then mobile, I think, is coming in March or whatever. Yeah,
Mhm.
shout out you. But I think there's a lot of people out there. So, like, I might say, hey, we're betting Chris Paul to get a double double. Some people that maybe don't watch the
What?
NBA, or maybe
Yep.
they've watched our other NFL videos, are like, oh, they do NBA. I haven't really tuned in. They might not know what double doubles are and things of that nature, what PRAs are. There's so many different lingos and things like that, abbreviations that some people might have no idea about. So that's always been something I've tried to include, is try to tell people, what he's try to really make it pretty simple to
Yep.
understand what we're betting on, because at the end of the day, not everyone's going to understand. And it also saves myself from a ton of comments that people have to respond to, or I have to respond to. So I think that's
True.
another thing to be important.
Yeah, true. Like you get it out there prior to like expecting that. What I do like, and you kind of mentioned it too, I love seeing the people that have that same mindset in definitely mine, and I would assume yours because bigger sample size there. But when someone's like, "Hey, what's PRA?" and someone else has the decency, I guess, to take time out of their day to tell them what PRA is, and then
Yeah.
you got some people that are like, "Well, you don't know what that is, idiot," and it's like, "All
Stop
right, dude,
that.
yeah, it's a YouTube comment, like pump the brakes there." But yeah, it's a good point, and that happens a lot. I think the number one what is that I always get is teaser. Teaser
Yeah,
is like, and then
I
when
can
I try to
imagine.
explain it, I'm kind of like, it's kind of confusing to be like, it's a parlay, but you're getting points on each side. It's like, oh, that's a tough one. But
That happens a lot when I do, like, same game parlays for NFL games, and I take alt lines, like, try to take a team plus 10.5. They're like, "My line's 2.5." And I'm like, "Oh gosh, here we go." But I understand. People don't
yeah,
understand everything, and, well, this is my life. This is what I do full time. It's not everyone else's, what they eat, sleep, and breathe kinda thing.
right.
I'm not an addict, I promise.
I want to get into sort of, we talked about how you just like, you were growing, growing, growing at a great rate, right? And then all of a sudden it's like you ate your Wheaties or something one morning because this ladder challenge, which I'm confident in saying I see it everywhere now, everywhere. And I know I texted you, I was like, did you invent this damn thing? And you said, no, I didn't invent it. But like, obviously I saw after you posted that, like this thing, I would say in this space went relatively viral, right?
Yeah.
Where'd you see that? It doesn't have to be a specific thing, but like, what made you pull the trigger on doing it? Because me and you probably align in the sense of like we have plenty of ideas of like, oh, that'll be a cool little TikTok or something. A random team jumps up on your head and it's you do something. What made you pull the trigger on the ladder challenge? And then what has that sort of process been like? I know we texted about it a little bit, but I do want to know. You've been busy as all hell, so you probably don't even remember our texts. But what has
Who
that
are
been
you?
like?
Who are
Yeah.
you again?
By the way, I didn't tell you who I am, but yeah, what has that been like?
Yeah, so obviously I'm glad you let off that. I didn't create it, and I don't want to be known as the creator. I feel like a lot of people think I created this ladder challenge. It's definitely been around for several years, a long, long
Mhm.
time. And so I just have seen other people do it. I've seen some people finish the whole challenge, and it's been cool to see them do it and see all the success that they've warranted. And while I never intended, I didn't intend for it to be this crazy. I originally the goal was, I've always been trying to find different ways to improve the YouTube channel and talk to not different YouTubers, sort of, but different sort of people behind the scenes that work with creators and stuff. And they've always been like, "Hey, you should really experiment with YouTube Shorts and stuff like that." I always been like, "I don't really want to do that. I like sticking to what I know." And so eventually, in January, I was like, "Yeah, fine, I'll do some YouTube Shorts." But I didn't know what to do. I was like, I don't want to make the same videos as I already do. I don't want to, and I was trying to think of different ideas. I was like, oh yeah, people do this ladder challenging. Sure, I'll give it a go. And so I gave it a go, and I already did the first video, and I was like, well, I'm gonna upload it to TikTok too. I mean, I didn't know at the time that YouTube Shorts is 60 seconds. So the first video I ever did, I had to redo the whole thing because I didn't know it was limited. But that's okay. I learned that the hard way, and so that's why all of them are like 60 seconds on the dot. But yeah, I uploaded to TikTok. The first couple did well. I think actually the first day we ever did it, I lost the first day. And I said, screw it, I'm running it back. And then that next run was the one I got all the way up to day 9. And in that stretch, like day 3 was the one that really took off on TikTok. That one went to like 1.3, 1.5 million views. And that was crazy because the previous two had gotten, 10 to 20K. And I was like, all right,
Mhm.
that's normal. And then I had set my phone down for day 3. I've uploaded it, whatever, did my life. And I came back and I see I've gained like 25,000 followers, and what is happening? And so that one naturally hit. And then naturally, when you see a guy hit 3, then 4, 5, 6, all the way up to day 9, it was just kind of kept exponentially growing, and just kind of tried to keep finding ways to bring people back over to YouTube and to all our other social platforms. And unfortunately, never, finished, like, died on day 9, then
Mhm.
restarted it, still got to day 6, which was really good. And then the last couple have fizzled out. We've lost, I don't know, 2, 3 in a row. And that's been unfortunate, but it's been a crazy challenge. It's been a lot of fun, and it's been cool to see a bunch of other people try it. And I hope
Yeah.
some people finished it. I hope people I made it look super easy the first, time, and 2 times getting up to 6 and 9. But it's not that easy. I think people are starting to understand. And I think
Yeah.
people got that rude awakening when I lost like 2 or 3 in a row. It's like you do realize it, we're still trying to hit a plus 100 bet every single night.
Right.
It's statistically very unlikely to hit 8 in a row. Even 3 in a row is still really tough. So
Yeah.
it's been a and a very crazy ride. People are always in my comments ask me to do it again, and I'm not opposed to doing it again, but kind of have to set that expectation that this is very tough to do. So
Yeah.
we're gonna keep moving with the punches and keep kind of going and doing fun things, but trying to think of the next kind of challenge that's different, unique, because now everyone's doing it, and I don't want to be known as the guy that attempts the ladder challenge until he's on his gravestone.
Yeah.
I just have no desire to do that, and it's really hard to complete, so I don't even know if I'd ever be able to complete it. I
Right.
have confidence in my picks, but I can't, control if a guy gets injured in an NFL game or
Right.
doesn't make his shots in an NBA game. So at the end of the day, it's super tough. So yeah, but that should. What other questions you got? Because it's been a crazy last couple weeks.
Yeah, I imagine. I think you even said these words at the start of the show, right? It's been life changing for you in such a short amount of time. You're probably seeing numbers and seeing increases in other, other things, and it's like this, like you were already successful at this, right? Like if you had, it's a yes or no question, are you successful? Yeah, you're successful. And now it's like, oh, this is life changing. This means a great thing for the future and whatnot. How do you keep, and I know you sort of mentioned that too, like you like to be able to respond to comments, you like to be able to read them. How do you stay sort of, or how do you envision yourself? Because obviously you're going to grow even more. Like I wouldn't be surprised we talk in 2 months and you've doubled again in following and whatnot. How do you envision yourself dealing? How have you dealt with this sort of rise? How do you envision yourself staying? I don't want to say humble because that is such a cliche word, but how do you continue to be the wholesome sort of Austin that everyone sees on a day to day basis? Because you've said you watched a lot of YouTube. You've definitely seen the sort of YouTuber that you connected with, you liked, and then all of a sudden it's like, well, it's a little bit different now. It's whether they're commercial or whether they're they seem like you're less genuine, they're doing it to cash your paycheck. Do you have any strategy? And obviously you might just say no, you're rolling with the punches like you've said. What is your tactic or strategy in trying to stick with your roots, to stick with your guns as you get all this success?
Yeah, so I feel like answering that's a couple different parts. I've always been, a person that's always been optimistic about life and always been someone that's always kind of looked at the positive. So even when I was doing these videos getting 50 whatever views a couple years back, super happy about that. What I never expected it to turn into my full-time job, let alone changing not just my life but my family's life, my fiance's life, and being able to do different things for my friends, which is awesome. But I've always been someone that's just, I've never done any of this for the money. Like the money's cool. I'll definitely promote the sports books and stuff to make some money for myself to be able to do cool things with it, whether that's opening a PO box, do more giveaways to the fans and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Because at the end of the day, I wouldn't be anywhere without the people that supported me when I had 50 views and stuff like that. Like I remember all those people, and they still reach out to me day in and day out, and I've been fortunate to meet some of them, and that's awesome. So I think that's like my next step, is trying to give back to a lot of people and that have helped change my life, and hopefully I can help change some other people's lives. But I've always wanted to be humble and wholesome. Obviously now that I'm more in the spotlight than I ever was before, it's humbling. It's definitely a different kind of thing I've had to deal with, but I wouldn't be here without all those people, and kind of the people, not just people that view the videos, but also the people, my personal friends and
Hmm.
family that have all they were a little skeptical, like, oh, he's quitting his job to go do YouTube full time and talk about sports betting and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Might have been skeptical then, but it's worked out so far, and I don't really know what the next year or two comes, but I'm still going to take try to make the most of all the opportunities I'm given, because I have no idea how long I can keep doing these things for, or how long I'll enjoy doing it. I don't think I'll ever do these videos if I don't enjoy doing them. If I don't
Right.
enjoy coming and waking up and early in the morning to come talk to you guys, interact with the community and stuff, I'll stop doing it, because I have no
And then
desire to just cash
and
my paycheck
people
and
will
move on.
people sniff right through that too. Like
Yeah, yeah, and
that
if I'm just
comes
not putting
through
any
and
research, yeah, I
yeah.
always will put, my most, effort as I possibly can into videos and stuff like that, and if I'm not feeling it, then people know. They'll definitely be able to tell from, because like I said, I'm normally pretty enthusiastic, pretty optimistic, pretty
Yeah.
like to have a lot of fun in the videos. I don't like to come in and just be like, "Guys, we're back. It's Wednesday, Thursday, whatever." That's just not my personality. So,
Yep.
yeah,
Well, that's
I hope
good.
that answers.
That is like a genuine way of looking at it. I mean, enthusiastic, positive. Those things come through on a camera, right? Which is like I like you saying that because it's hard to get that out. You come on, you're like Bam Adebayo's over in what PRA tonight is something that you have. Or it's like you can't be like, hey, I'm really you can't just tell. an audience that, hey, I'm really optimistic and a positive person. Here's that, those two things don't align, which is why I think there is a little bit of like a space for a show like this, or getting to know you. But you know what? I want to do this. Don't be scared. But take away YouTube, take away social media. What are you doing? And then I even actually will take it a step further. Say sports don't exist. Say YouTube, social media, sports don't exist. What is Austin doing whatever night? What is something else that interests you? We can start with, you kind of mentioned it earlier, like you're watching Netflix. What are things that you're watching right now? I'm sure a bunch of people listening or watching same things, but start with Netflix, and then legitimately, like, what are some passions that you have that people would be like, never would have seen that coming?
Yeah, that's a good question. Hmm. Well, if anyone, first off, anyone has any show recommendations, drop them in the comments. I want to see what you guys are watching. A couple shows I've been watching. My all-time favorite show is The Office, but since they took that off Netflix to Peacock, haven't been able to watch it. But I'm getting a Peacock account soon, so I'll be watching that soon. I've also been tuned into The White Lotus. That's been a good show. That's on what, HBO? I think
I
HBO.
believe so, yeah.
That show's cool. I haven't watched the second season, but that's one's fun. What else am I watching these days? Just whatever comes on the TV. We don't really have we don't watch a lot of cable. I'll watch some sporting events. Recently with the ladder challenge, from watching a lot more NBA. Normally I let the bets play out. Maybe I'll watch the primetime games here and there,
Yeah.
but watch a lot more NBA. But as of what I do outside of television, I'm a big basketball. I love playing basketball. You talked about my 500 free throws for 500 subscribers.
Is that
I might
how was that what it was? Was it
that
5?
was what it was. It was a
That
miserable
is
experience. It
That
was
is cr
miserable.
I that was before, like, we had reached out or connected. I just seen the video, and I remember your hands or something. You were like, your
Yeah, yeah.
hands were out.
It's
Oh
actually
my,
coming up on like the 2-year anniversary of that video, I think. Don't quote me on that.
wow.
I think it was filmed right around February 28th. But yeah, yeah. I remember my hands were very dark black.
Yeah.
It was a miserable day. I obviously live in Florida. I didn't bring really any water with me, and I thought I was a better free throw shooter than I was. And that, it's tough. A lot of different things went. I really almost passed out that day. I think at some point towards the end of the video, around like the 400 mark, I had to leave to drive to go get water and then return.
Oh my god.
But yeah, because I was like really not feeling it. Yeah, I don't remember what percentage I shot that day, but it was like I think it was in like the upper 50s. I think it was, but I blame it was windy. It was a double rim. You can't blame me. I should have been like 70%. So maybe I'll do 100K free throws for 100K. Well, now I passed that, so I don't really know.
I don't know if you
Um,
wanna say that out loud.
no, no, 100 straight free throws. How about that?
Ooh, there
Now
you
that would
go.
be even more difficult. Actually, maybe not. I'd eventually get good. But yeah, outside of basketball, I really like playing basketball. I'll just go shoot around with myself. Really have gotten into pickleball a lot over the last couple months, so
Okay.
that's been pretty good. And other than that, no, I'm normally a pretty relaxed dude. I don't really do a whole lot outside of the camera. Do some business stuff, but really, I'm not really doing a whole lot these days. That's why I want to get going to more sporting events this summer and really go. I really love hiking and traveling, so I think All Star break I'll be up skiing up near you in Vernon Valley in New Jersey. So I've never been skiing before, so that'd be pretty cool.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I'm normally just a guy that likes to go outdoors. Me and my fiance love hiking and things of that nature. So there were no sports, I'd probably be doing something like that. Just going
Yeah.
hiking.
Just kinda
I don't
staying
really like
active, so yeah.
camping. Don't tell my fiance that, but I don't love camping, but she doesn't know.
What about, what's your favorite, I guess, favorite restaurant?
Um, Fast food or real restaurant?
Both. You got an answer for both?
Fast food. I'm really a big fan of Zaxby's. Zaxby's is one of my favorite. Not an ad,
Never
not
had
an
it.
ad. Yeah, if Zaxby's you're watching, you can reach out to me. Um, as for a real restaurant, that's a tough question. Um, I like Olive Garden. That's like very
Okay. Okay.
very. It's not very. That's very like white person basic as heck. But yeah, I've never been someone. I don't know. I've just never been someone that went out a whole lot to eat. I was normally just run through fast food and then go
Yeah.
home. Like, never been a sit down kind of guy. What about
So
you?
no, I mean, so I used to back in college. I used to love Chili's. When I say love Chili's, like love Chili's, 2 for 20. I
Hey man,
loved
that's a
like
good deal.
the beer selection. I still go there from time to time. I guess I would
You're
have to
going there
say that
tonight, aren't you?
I might now. You had to ask me that question. Now I'm like, all right. But it was I mean, for like a uh stretch in college too, like me and my buddies, roommates would go so often that like on a Thursday night, the hostess would like kind of reserve a table in the bar section for us, and she'd be like, "Oh, that's taken," even though those are like first come first serve seatings. So it got pretty bad for a little bit, and I was like, "Uh oh, now I got to I gotta figure this one out." But in terms of fast food, um, I really do like Chick-fil-A. Um, I go in little ups and downs. Like I'm not the biggest McDonald's, Burger King, those sort of I guess like burger joint type places. But sometimes you get a craving and you're like the only thing that can fix this right now is like a McDonald's massive order. But
I feel that.
it
I feel
it
that.
is definitely, ups and I guess sort of, like some things I ride the hot streaks, just like my sports betting. Sometimes McDonald's is hot. Sometimes I'm like, mm-mm, nope. But
Yeah, you got to go. And I'm really a big fan of Cookout too. But I don't know if you have. Have you ever had a
no,
Cookout?
no.
Uh, Cookout, some people are either they love it or they don't love it. I'm on the love train, but it's not necessarily because they have great food. It's just that you get a lot of food for cheap, and that's
Okay.
I'm a sucker. I'm a
There,
cheapskate at heart.
there you
So
go.
anything cheap that's not trashy, like really bad, like Del Taco. Del Taco just caught
Hmm.
a stray bullet from nowhere. But yeah, so I think I don't have crazy taste. Like I could probably eat whatever.
You can shit on other restaurants on your own show, okay? Let's what
Yeah,
if
they're
Del
never
Taco.
sponsoring this show, big dog.
Yeah, but all right, I do have one last thing. I kind of hinted at this with you. I probably did a terrible job explaining it, but what we're gonna do is I'm gonna show you three
Okay.
NBA faces, and this is something for anyone watching. I'm gonna try and do with all the guests that we have on. Austin, I went with NBA for you. I think that that's obviously the safe play here. But what we're gonna do is look at three NBA faces. Now you can start looking at them as I explain what's going on. There's 9 points on the table here. And this is where you're going to be able to rank with the other creators that I go through the show with, right? So you're going to have a point available for all of these categories: name, position, and we can be sort of like, I'm thinking guard, forward, center, right? But that's probably the most flexible one. And then team. Now, team should be easy, but you never know if these pictures are going to be, when a guy's wearing an old jersey or something. So it could still trip you up. So again, name, position, team, team, and we're going to see how many points you get altogether. It doesn't have to be in order, but let's see what you got here.
Yeah, when you originally described this pre-show, I thought it was going to be one of those things where they combine all into one, and then I thought I had to pick them from there. I was like, all right, you're really throwing me for a loop, but I
No,
could
no,
easily
that
do this. That first person is a player that's actually been really coming onto the scene thanks to Rui Hachimura being traded, just at a career high. That's Denny Avdia of the Washington Wizards. Now, I don't know if they classify him as like a small forward, power forward, or if you want to classify him as a big guard. He's very like Luka Doncic-esque, whatever you classify Luka as. I classify Denny Avdia as that, and I believe that is him. That should be
it,
that.
Denny Avdia is correct. I call
Yeah.
him Denny Avidabadu because I just get after I see the letters mixed up. But all right, you get the name right. What position? I'm gonna be, because I think you're gonna nail the rest of them. I'm gonna be a stickler about the position here. You got to go guard, forward, or center.
Yeah, I mean, I'd pick forward if I had to pick.
Correct. And
Yeah.
you had the team too, obviously. So 3 for 3 on him. That's 3 points. And let's see if you roll through these two.
Yeah, then obviously you got JaVale McGee. JaVale McGee. He's a center, obviously.
Hmm.
He's he does not play for the Cavaliers, which is his jersey. I believe he doesn't get a lot of PT, but doesn't he play for the Mavericks now?
That is correct.
Yeah, he plays for the Mavericks. He does not get any PT, but he does play for the Mavericks now. And then the last one, I hate him with his guts. He's already got 4 fouls just from being on the screen. That's Pascal Siakam of the Raptors. And you could they play him at center, but I'd argue he's a forward. So I'll stick
Forward.
with
I'll give you that. I think that one was the layup here, and these are just randomly generated. So I'm sure for anyone watching, it's going to be harder for some people. Austin, you'd probably know these guys through and through, anyways. But that is a 9 for 9, setting the bar high.
I will take that. I'll
But
take that
yeah,
all day.
what can you say? You're the inaugural guest with an inaugural 100% score there. Giving a little look at you, giving your sports statistics. Denny Avdia, succeeding a little bit with Rui
He just set a
Hachimura.
career high. He scored
You
25
just
points
made
the
me
other night.
say Denny Avadabadu and Rui Hachimura back to back. I don't know how you did it, but that was tough. But yeah. So yeah, I do want to truly thank you for coming on. Obviously, you're welcome back anytime. We talk, time to time. I appreciate you picking up the phone and getting on the show. Anything you want to talk about coming up, anything you want to plug, I'll put your socials obviously in the description and whatnot. But take a couple minutes and tell people what you have going on. I know you've teased a couple things in some recent videos. Don't have to, get out any secrets. But what do you got going on? What do you want to tell people?
Well, I want to first off thank you for letting me on the show. I look forward to seeing your future guests, and maybe I'll come back on in a little bit. Number two, a lot of people don't know this, but shout out to you. You helped us do all of our Call on Our Shot merch. Without your help, we would not be. We probably wouldn't have anything out there. Or if we did, it would be an absolute mess. So we, from me and Logan, we really do appreciate your help for helping us get that
Happy
started
to do
and
it.
get that show off the ground. So if you haven't subscribed to him and you're subscribed to us, go subscribe to my boy. And then number three, we do have some cool things coming. Not really any sponsorships. One of our sponsorships, and I'll shout them out in 2 weeks when their time has come. They'll be flying me and Logan already lives there, but flying me and my fiance out to a Sixers versus Cavaliers game. So
Very
that's
cool.
in Wednesday. I assume this podcast will go up before then, but that's Wednesday the 15th. So we'll probably do some sort of meet and greet that day early before the game, maybe outside the stadium at a bar or something like that. And then obviously if you ever see me in Philly when I'm there, I'll be there. So that'll be fun. Looking forward to going to some more games this summer. Hopefully meeting a lot more fans. I've yet to encounter a fan in real life that stopped me and said, "Hey, are you Austin from Calling a Shot?" So if you ever see me in public, always feel free to say something, because that would make my day. So other than that, not a lot coming down the pipeline. Going to try to open a PO box because I don't know, think it sounds fun.
I think that'd be cool.
And then just see if people send me some stuff. And other than that, just going to keep doing my thing. 2 weeks for the All-Star break. Going to take some time off, rest, and relax, and then back to the old grind. And then that MLB season starts. So, yes, it's about to get real busy soon. So, other than that, I think people know where to find me at Calling Our Shot on all social platforms. And shoot my boy a follow too if you are here.
Appreciate that. Austin, again, I know I said it, but thank you very much for coming on. Look forward to talking to you and look forward to clearly seeing the rocket ship growth. I know you said a long time ago, calling our shot to the moon. You're getting closer and closer, but you truly are in that propelled rocket ship. So congratulations again, and thank you very much for coming on the show.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for having me.